4:30 on WKYT, the Lexington Humane Society is asking for your help after storms ruined their fundraiser. Find out what you can do coming up this morning.
The National Weather Service now says a tornado caused damage at an Eastern Kentucky Walmart. How long the cleanup there is expected to take, coming up.
And local musicians played at a benefit to help a man who was robbed and shot. More on that man's recovery ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. It's your Wednesday, July 6th, and we're glad you're along bright and early. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's see what's happening with the weather, and hopefully, Mike, it will be a bright, sunny day for us.
Yeah, at least we'll get some peaks of sunshine here and there, but what we're going to be watching late in the afternoon, off into the evening hours, rounds of thunderstorms. This is going to kick off a three-day event we're going to be watching today, tomorrow, off into your Friday. It's going to be pretty stormy, and it's going to come in waves, so you will get big breaks in the action. Right now, there's really not much going on. 75 degrees there in Frankfort. It is humid outside. 73 now coming in Laurel County. Now we get into your afternoon, 89 degrees, closing in on 90. It's not going to feel great today, and those storms will be around, especially late in the afternoon. So that means much of your day will be dry. I'm going to get into that, and I'm going to show you when these storms arrive and when the next wave arrives, too, coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, see you then. It is usually one of the Lexington Humane Society's biggest fundraisers. Every year, the organization sells pet toys, T-shirts, and some other items at the city's 4th of July festival.
But the storm that hit during the festival washed away the fundraiser, and the organization says it came at a bad time. The Humane Society is asking for your help now, and Garrett Weimer has that.
You might be able to tell summer's a busy time at Lexington Humane Society. That's why they try to raise money downtown on July 4th. But this year, the wind and rain came.
All of a sudden, the tents were lifting off the ground and across the street. All the merchandise got soaked. We had donation jars falling off the ground, breaking, and then dollar bills were just streaming down the street. We were trying to catch all of them.
Thankfully, no animals or humans with the Humane Society were hurt, but they did lose out on a lot of money they are normally able to raise at the event.
I guess it kind of clicked when I saw the money literally floating down the street and going into the gutter, into the rain gutters.
The storm swept donations down the drain and ruined a lot of their merchandise.
Well, we lost 2 of our 10-by-10 tents that flew across the street, and they were so mangled they couldn't even be folded back together. And then a lot of our T-shirts and hats from the rain, they bled onto each other, so they're completely ruined. And all of the toys that we took to sell were ruined as well.
Right now, the shelter's at full capacity, 500 animals. So they're asking for help because on Monday, when it rained cats and dogs, it hurt their efforts to take care of them.
We really count on that money to take care of the animals until they find their forever homes.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And the Humane Society says you can help out by making a donation, volunteering, or adopting a pet.
The National Weather Service now says a tornado is what caused the damage at a Walmart in Lawrence County. Meteorologists say the EF2 tornado that hit Monday had winds of 120 miles per hour. It caused damage around Louisa, including at the Walmart. The store's manager says he hopes the grocery section can reopen by Saturday, but it could be 6 to 8 weeks before the store will fully reopen. The manager says the store lost a lot of food in the storm.
Able to get the food banks in here as soon as the power went out last night, and we were able to donate quite a bit of the cold food and meat and things like that, so it will benefit someone in the community, but it is a total loss for us.
Walmart managers say the store's employees will be able to pick up shifts at some Walmarts nearby until the store can fully reopen. The National Weather Service says a tornado also touched down in Rockcastle County Monday. That one was an EF1. It had winds of up to 90 miles per hour. The tornado damaged 7 homes in Broadhead, along with some cars and trees. Most of the damage was along Hacker Lane. Rockcastle County emergency managers say no one was injured in that tornado. Remember, you can track storms when you're away from your TV with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app, and you can download that for free in the app or Google Play stores. Well, using their talents to help a friend, some local musicians played at a benefit for a man who was shot and robbed.
Police say Coleman Saunders was badly injured last month when 3 men robbed him. Monique Blair has the story.
Why did you have to hurt him? first song I'm going to play is something that kind of fell on my heart a couple days after I got the news last week.
Sunday best singer Christopher Bentley says the best way he knows how to respond to negativity is to bring people together. So tonight, that's just what he did, all for his friend Coleman Saunders.
When Nick and I started as Sunday Best, back in 2010 in Lexington, Coleman was one of the first people we ever met that really helped get us on track.
As much or as little as you feel appropriate. Now, as people walked into the door here at Willie's, they were asked to make a $15 donation, and 100% of the proceeds made tonight during the fundraiser will go to Coleman Saunders. But also people could write a note to him to let him know that they were thinking about him. Though Saunders couldn't come to the fundraiser, he did have a few things he wanted to say to his friends and even the strangers who came out to support him.
The jogger who found me dying is why I took a breath this morning. The love of God, family, and friends is why I still have my life. I thank every one of you for that.
The mood during the concert was somber, but Bentley says Saunders' loved ones do have a reason to smile.
It'll be a couple months, I think 6 to 8 months, but he's going to be fully recovered.
In Lexington,
Good always wins, and even when victory is slim.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, at last check, Lexington police had not made any arrests in the shooting. Hundreds of people came together in Bardstown to pray for a missing Nelson County mother. Sunday marked the one-year anniversary of Crystal Rogers' disappearance. Investigators say they do not know what happened to her. People at last night's vigil prayed, lit candles, and released balloons in honor of Rogers. Her parents also attended. They say support from the community has helped keep them going the past year. The community has raised more than $70,000 for Rogers' children.
We have more hope now than we've ever had. So we're hoping, this pans out and everything will turn out and we'll get some kind of justice. And hopefully we'll find where she's at.
The Nelson County Sheriff's Office has named Rogers' boyfriend Brooks Houck as a suspect in the case, but he has not at this point been charged.
Now 4:37 on WKYT this morning. Deputies have arrested 2 people after finding a large marijuana growing operation in Laurel County. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they were called to a home on Highway 233 yesterday morning for a complaint that Christina Lockhart and her ex-husband Casey Lockhart were fighting. They say 2 children were also at the home. Deputies say they found more than 100 marijuana plants growing in an outbuilding. They say they also found 3 stolen shotguns. The Lockharts now face several charges, including endangering the welfare of minors. Casey Lockhart also faces charges of growing marijuana. Also new this morning, a man who admitted embezzling millions of dollars from a Lexington business is appealing his sentence. Last month, a federal judge sentenced James Hammes to 8 years in prison, followed by 3 years probation for wire fraud. That sentence was higher than what prosecutors had recommended. The judge cited the large amount of money involved and the fact that Hammes was on the run for years as reason for the tougher sentence. Hammes's attorneys filed a notice of plans to appeal yesterday. Investigators say he embezzled more than $8 million while working as an accountant for the Lexington branch of a Pepsi-Cola bottler. Hammes then went on the run for 6 years.
The massive Mega Millions jackpot is getting even bigger. The winning numbers of last night's ticket are on your screen. Officials say no winning tickets were sold in yesterday's Mega Millions. That means the jackpot for the next drawing on Friday will be about $508 million. This marks the 34th time the jackpot has rolled over without a winner. The previous record was 22. Yesterday's jackpot was the 7th largest lotto jackpot in U.S. history, worth about $454 million. So much money to think about.
Right, so it looks like it's now going to top $500 million. Wow. Good to have you along. WKYT this morning, just getting started. We have a lot more to tell you about this morning. Hope you'll stay with us.
We have some storms on the way. It's late in the day, so much of your day stays dry, but those storms could be strong, potentially severe in the upcoming days, too. I'm going to have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Things are looking pretty good this morning, but they are not feeling very well. You walk outside and it feels like a sauna. It is very warm, very humid for this time of morning. And as you head out and about, least it's dry, though. And we are seeing a couple sprinkles far east and southeastern Kentucky. But other than that, we are looking pretty good there on the roadway. 74 degrees now in Lexington. Like I said, 74. We've woken up to 74 degrees before and felt much better. This morning does not feel that good. The moisture is there. Dew points are in the 70s. We don't usually talk about dew points, but when they're in the 70s, that is a measure of that moisture in the air, and that's a lot of moisture. So just continue to watch that humidity rise next few days. Now through, I'd say, noontime, looks pretty good in terms of trying to get some rain on out of here. I don't see much of rain in the forecast during that time. There will be a slight chance, but just not widespread across the region. When we hit deep into the afternoon, I mean, you really got to get to 4 to about 8 p.m. to actually see some of these storms move on in. 89 degrees, and also looking at that humidity way up. Then we head off into the evening and night, still looking at a few storms overnight into tomorrow morning, which could be a little bit loud for some of us, keeping a few of us up overnight and into tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a very active pattern, more of those storms in the forecast, and that's now through Friday. Today, Thursday, Friday, it's about a good 60% chance of rain. Now remember, when you look at those percentages on the 7-day forecast, don't think just because it's 60, 70% that it's going to be an all-day thing. A lot of your day will be dry. You'll be able to knock out some of those plans outdoors if you need to. You just got to keep in mind, check out our weather app and check out where the radar is around your area at that time. Much drier, though, for the weekends. The weekend looks much, much better. Here's your 7-day, and this is what I'm talking about. Those icons stick out like a sore thumb the next 3 days, as it looks like we'll have a lot of rain, and we will get bits and pieces of 2 to 3 inches here and there, very isolated spots. Most of us will stay 1 to 2 inches of rain now through Friday, but then the weekend, guys, you can see much better conditions. Not just a pretty looking day, but also much better feeling day too, in the low to mid 80s. We'll take that. Humidity needs to drop big time. It does. It doesn't feel good outside.
Oh, it's been stifling last day or so. All right, Micah, thank you. Summertime can, of course, be a whirlwind.
Mom's Everyday Minute. In it today, we have some ways for you and your kids to slow down and enjoy the summer months while keeping the kids busy.
Summer vacation is here. Are the kids already getting on your nerves? If children are complaining they're bored or there's nothing to do, you can turn to this list of activities that are fun and will keep your kids learning too, courtesy of Boys Town.
Go to the museum. Museums are fun, educational, and typically have something for everyone. Have little kids? Hit up an area children's museum. Older kids might enjoy museums focusing on art, history, or science. Home projects. Let the kids help you create a nicer space to live in. Children can help paint, wash windows, clean out closets, or plant a tree. They'll revel in the sense of accomplishment they'll get when finished. Hit the road. A summer vacation makes for a fun getaway that will leave your kids with lasting memories. You don't have to go far. Scope out destinations like state parks and let the children help plan to get their imaginations going. Want to stay even closer to home? Pitch a tent and set up a campsite in the backyard. Eat camp food like hot dogs, s'mores, and hot chocolate, and take turns telling stories.
Summer flies by, so make sure your family maps out some time where everyone can have fun and keep their minds engaged. For more ways to make Mom's life easier, visit momseveryday.com. For Moms Every Day, I'm Liz Hayes.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
The time is 4:46 on WKYT this morning. We're coming right back on your Wednesday.
Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis is facing a lawsuit for a rather unusual reason. We'll have more on that and what that is coming up on WKYT.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 4:49 is the time this morning. After a year-long investigation, the FBI says Hillary Clinton did not commit a crime when she used a personal email server while she was Secretary of State.
The FBI's recommendation came hours before President Barack Obama campaigned with Clinton for the first time. As Craig Boswell tells us, Donald Trump quickly weighed in.
We have a rigged system, folks.
Donald Trump came out swinging at the FBI for recommending Hillary Clinton not be criminally charged for using a private email server.
Our enemies may have a blackmail file on Crooked Hillary, and this alone means that she should not be allowed to serve as President of the United States.
FBI Director James Comey said Clinton and her aides were extremely careless in their handling of sensitive, highly classified information.
Any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Comey said at least 110 of Clinton's emails contained classified information when she sent or received them, and it's possible hackers could have gained access.
I'm with her.
President Obama campaigned with Clinton for the first time Tuesday. Neither mentioned the investigation.
Donald Trump is simply unqualified and temperamentally unfit to be our president and commander-in-chief.
Clinton's email case may be over in the eyes of the justice system. Attorney General Loretta Lynch said she would accept the FBI findings, but Clinton may have a tougher go in the court of public opinion. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Well, a Clinton campaign spokesperson said again yesterday that it was a mistake for Clinton to use a personal email server.
Back in Kentucky, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis has been sued by a man who claims that she denied him a license to marry his laptop computer. This lawsuit was filed by Mark Sevier, who also filed lawsuits against Governor Bevin and the Attorney General Andy Beshear. Davis's lawyers at the Liberty Council claim Sevier is trying to prove that a marriage between a same-sex couple has the same legitimacy as a human marrying an inanimate object. The Liberty Council calls his lawsuit frivolous and says he has filed similar lawsuits in Texas and Florida. Last year, Davis received national attention when she refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. People in Scott County got the chance to meet the new superintendent of the Scott County school system. The school board there welcomed Dr. Kevin Hubb with an ice cream social during its meeting last night. Hubb says student growth is among his priorities, and he says the people of Scott County deserve a decision on whether a second high school will be built. Hubb also says he's found many positive things about the school district.
I'm just excited to be here. I think it's got an outstanding reputation to deliver world-class education for our students, outstanding teachers, supportive and caring leadership, and a support staff that really adds to the student engagement and the instructional value in our classes.
Before coming to Scott County, Hubb was the superintendent of Logan County Schools in western Kentucky.
The Ark Encounter Park in Grant County officially opens tomorrow, but yesterday 7,000 people received a sneak peek. The group behind the park, Answers in Genesis, says the people were supporters of the project. One man who lives out of state told us he liked what he saw and plans to visit often.
We're going to even buy a vacation home out here because we plan on coming here every year and trying to invite other people from Wisconsin and all our friends all across the state.
Answers in Genesis projects that 2 million people will visit Ark Encounter in the first year. Ticket prices are $40 for adults and $28 for children.
Well, it's good to have you along on WKYT at now 4:53. And coming up, we'll have a look at some of the news stories our team is working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Hey, good morning. The time 4:56 on WKYT on your Wednesday morning, and we want to get you up to the minute right now.
Let's check out what's happening in and around town in the news right now.
Some of the stories we're working on this morning: South African Paralympic athlete Oscar Pistorius is being sentenced for killing his girlfriend in 2013. We'll have the latest on that. Bring that to you ahead this morning.
The Lexington Humane Society needs your help. The storms on the 4th of July ruined their biggest fundraiser of the year. We'll have more on what you can do coming up on WKYT this morning.
Also chasing down details of a fire this morning out on Georgetown Street. We'll have some details on that for you. And we want to check weather. It sure has been humid, you know?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can feel it. I mean, the past couple of days, temperatures have not been bad. I'll just put it that way. However, that humidity is way up. Just standing outside yesterday afternoon, just start sweating, and it's not even that hot. It's just that humid air that's kind of with us, and it's going to be that way today and the next few days. Not much going on. A couple of sprinkles back toward eastern Kentucky, but it's mainly dry through the morning hours. I would say by the afternoon, much of your afternoon actually stays mainly dry, but you get deep into the afternoon, 4, 5, 6 p.m. That's when these storms move on in, and we do have a severe weather threat in the forecast too the next couple of days. I'm going over that with another 2 hours of WKYT News.